Take 79. Assalamu alaikum, guys. For those of you who don't know what that means, that basically just means peace be upon you in Arabic language. Nothing to be afraid of. I decided to do this video because I post so much writing, so much links and things like that, so I wanted to break up the writing with the video post, so that's what I'm doing now. And in this video post, I'm basically going to be saying a poem, and this poem won me third place, so it's an amazing poem, my favorite poem, I love it. The person who made this poem is a US Marine and veteran of Iraq. He's a Somali American, and he basically in this poem recounts his past experience in American school system and him joining the war, as a Somali American. And so at one point I kind of had it memorized, but I might have to look down every now and again to look at my phone. So I hope you guys like this poem. It's one of my favorite poems. So what do you want me to say? Because honestly, I don't think you came here to listen to me speak. I succumb to the concept that everyone has a fallacy, but I'm just too deaf and dumb to know reality. At a young age, I recognized this hate. Blind as a fool, I remember in school I just got done pledging to my flag. As I sit in silence in the back of the class, the teacher goes through the attendance and says Abdi. Not Abdurrahman, not Abdurrahim, or even Abdullahi, just Abdi. You should have seen the look on my face. She can't understand the language and she managed to call us slaves, but I was young and afraid, so I chose not to be responsive. Then she continued on with the attendance and got to Muhammad. Then Muhammad, Muhammad, Muhammad. No response, dead silence. But then she's reminded, Big Mo, tall Mo, Little Mo, Slow Mo, I forgot your nickname, but we all know. And I'm thinking, what the hell do you know? And she goes, I know it's your people who blew up the World Trade. So every time I see a towel head that prays the way you pray, I'm reminded of that day. I'm not racist. All I am is afraid. Afraid. I see. I understand atrocities caused by people like me. So let me start with apologies for those inhumane 19 so you don't constantly blame me. See, to talk about that day makes it hard for me to speak, but had I known the noose around my neck caused by angry mob to lynch people like me, I'd have cried more publicly. But I've hid my tears because I know freedom ain't free. Maybe I'm the one who needs to understand. I mean, what type of country would take the actions of a few and blame it on a whole civilization? I mean, thank God we don't live in that nation. I mean, what type of nation would discriminate its people upon his belief and justify them as abomination? Nah. I live in the land of the free, where I can walk in brightly lighted streets. As for those around me, hold on to what's dear, for I resemble fear, been taught to succeed with the foundations that kept tumbling down. In school, they teach us to be outspoken, but that's not what I'm shown. I fear if I speak out, I'll be next on the no-fly zone, and I got a little cousin, he's on the same list, he's only 8 years old, he's probably a terrorist. I mean, what do I know? But see, this is only half the problem. See, I feel for the brothers named Muhammad because only God can give them a job. History's turned the page because the last time I checked, it was the black people that were slaves, locked up in chains, taught how to hate. Hold up, that sounds a lot like today. See, back in the day, some blacks were paid to help destroy the rest of the race. Now most black people feel like they've never been a part of the slave trade. But at first it was the American Indian that got chased. But you're not American Indian, so you ain't gotta be afraid. Then it was the black people that got raped. But you're not black, so you're okay. Then it was the Jewish people that got annihilated. But you're not Jewish, so I guess you're okay. Now it's the Muslims that are slaves. But you're not Muslim, so what can you say until you have something to lose? See, I fought for myself. I fought for this country and still got condemned. Found myself marching with people who hated me, yet I managed to call them my friend. See, at first they would ask me questions like, if you went to war today, would you shoot us or would you shoot them? And with such radical thoughts is usually taken as a joke, but how long could a joke go before you start to think, is this the only thing they know? I found myself at an airport fall victim by law to this so-called random check. They can see in my ID that I've earned my stripes of respect, yet they continue to give me the full first and say thank you for serving my country and expect me to take that as a compliment? At what degree do we get lost? They say you can be free, just don't build a mosque. But if you really badly want to, just reject the Quran. We can't understand it, so it's gotta be our wrong. Here's the solution. We'll light a bonfire, we'll hold hands, sing songs, and we'll all just get along. Listen, there is terrorism, and there are terrorist living. But the last time I checked, terrorism and terrorist are not a religion. So for the last time, what do you want me to say? Because you refuse to see eye to eye with me. If you want to know the foundations of my belief, if you want to know the truth, then look at the foundations of my belief. And one dialogue, you'll hear it in my greeting. Upon you, I wish salams, which means peace. And that's the end of the poem. I hope you guys liked that. I know I kind of messed up, but I'm really tired of doing videos, so this is like my final video I'm doing, and yeah. So basically, that's my favorite poem because it just speaks to experience of being a Muslim, you know, being black, being female. It just talks about the prejudice that, you know, you face. And it's really kind of alive and well, the prejudice that Muslims still face in America. And I made a previous post yesterday actually about how a guy went on the plane. What if a person looked like me, a person who had my name or a similar name from a Muslim country, if they got on a plane like what he had going on the plane, trust me, they would not only he didn't even face jail time, you know? So this just I love this poem because it just speaks volumes to something that's prevalent still going on. And so I hope you guys enjoy that poem. I know I messed up. I'm sorry, but if you wanna listen to the person who did a much better job than I did, then just look up the poem. It's called Terrorism Is Not a Religion. It's on YouTube, and he does a fabulous job at reciting it. I can't recite it better than he did, so I suggest you go watch it anyway. Alright, over and out. Oh my god, that was so cheesy. I'm so sorry.